And then, so let's make a formal introduction for our listener. Good afternoon, Pablo and Anouk. I think Joris will try to make it as well. From the studios in Fairfax City, we're very humble and grateful that members of Flairck accepted our invitation to our show. Flairck is a Dutch musical ensemble formed in 1978 around guitarist virtuoso Erik Visser. The group has been have different members depending on the project. The musical style is a band of folk music, jazz, and classical chamber music with touches of blues. The music is played with a wide variety of musical instruments. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having us.
So let's start from the beginning. For everything that is going on in the world with the pandemic and people cannot tour like yourself, musician, how is this affecting your life, your family, your creativity, and so forth?
Go ahead, Anouk.
Yeah, it's strange that we cannot play, that we cannot even rehearse on a legal way. So yeah, with the new album, it's quite silence, and we hope that we can replace it all in after the summer, and that we can play our concerts.
Yeah. You guys receive like a stipend from the government to supplement your income now. You're a tour musician, is beyond your control to tour or not, or?
Yeah, we are getting some support from the Belgian government at the moment. It's not that it can actually replace, of course, the work. It's more of a symbolic kind of thing, but we do get a little compensation. Let's say it's an initiative that it meant to try to help artists to keep going in these difficult times, you know, because several concerts that we had scheduled, especially after the summer of 2020 and until the end of the year, we got quite a few cancellations of concerts or concerts that had to be postponed for the end of this year or even next year. So yeah, there's a little bit of support in an effort from the Flemish government to support us. But of course, it's as I said, it's more of it's a help, but it's not that it can actually replace the work, of course. So it keeps being difficult.
And are you guys able to do like a sort of live streaming concert or not?
Not yet.
Yeah,
we didn't. Yeah, we didn't plan it. But yeah, it's not the same. Playing for a live public or playing live stream. Yeah. I did some, and it's nice to play with people, but it's not the same.
Yeah, some of the members of our band that are involved in other projects, for example, as Anouk and other members of the band have been doing a couple of projects online, like some streaming things and all that. With Flairck as a band, we still haven't done it. We are thinking about it. We might do it in the future, not in the near future. But we are thinking on how to do it and how to try. You know, you have to try to make something special out of it, because as Anouk says, is not comparable to the live experience, and certainly not with a music like ours. And I also personally think that it's a bit difficult, because now there are so many bands doing this at the moment that it's a little bit overwhelming, I think, for the public to follow all these streaming things, because basically everybody's doing it. So we don't want to do just one more streaming. So we would like to do something special. So we are kind of thinking about it.
And then, in terms of the pandemic, do you know when your country sort of will open up, where you guys can see one another or rehearse? Never mind touring, but that's 3 months on the road or a long time for now?
Well, I think it is very uncertain. You know, nobody really knows what is going to happen, because of course there are like periodical evaluations that the authorities do to try to evaluate what is the situation and what are the next steps, or when can they open what. and this and that. But for the moment, nobody's really certain of what's going to happen. In our band, we have also the difficulty that we have also people. Most of us are living in Belgium, but we have also one member, for example, that is Dutch and he lives in Holland. And so the rules also differ from country to country, you know. So while maybe for some period some things are allowed there, in the same period some that is not allowed in Belgium. So it's a bit complicated in our case because of this situation as well. We have people from different places, and that makes it also a little bit complicated.
How many gigs or tour were you guys doing? I don't know, 2 years ago. A year on average, how many?
Well, yeah, that's a complicated question. Since we started actually with this new generation of the band, which basically we started putting together in 2017, is when we started touring with this new generation. I don't know, in average, I mean, we probably were close to the 20 something concerts per year or something like that. And then of course it became a little bit more difficult. So we don't know what is going to happen now, you know. But in average, I think if this year we can recover, you know, 10 to 20 concerts, we are gonna be happy with that, because at the moment it doesn't look good.
Yeah. Well, let's go back to the beginning. Any of you born in a musical family at all, or?
Yeah, a bit. My mother plays clarinet and harp. So and then we start, my brothers and me, we start all to play violin at the age of 3. So a little bit, yes.
What about you, Pablo?
Yeah, and my family is also coming. It comes directly, especially in my case, from my father. And my father is a singer-songwriter in Mexico. He writes songs, and he's busy also with theater and all that. So I've always been also since very young in contact, not only with music but also with theater and with other artistic things. And the rest of the guys, I think, at least that I know, in Yori's family, the bass player, he also, his brothers, actually one of his first band was with his brothers, because they are all musicians. And I think in the other violin player that we have, Jasira Ukeyeva, she's from Kazakhstan. And I think she also, I don't know if directly her mother, if I remember correctly, but someone in her family was in contact also with music. And I believe that only our flute player, Jerun, I don't recall that anybody in his family were busy in music. He might be the only one that doesn't have a direct connection in the family. But yeah,
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
In my case, I don't play any instrument. I don't know how to read music at all. I just began listening music when I was a baby. I was telling Pablo I was born in Chile. My dad, they have a lot of music. So I began listening music when jazz when I was probably 2-3 days old. And but then when I was sort of 14, 15, I realized that my thing was kind of rock from the 80s, you know, from Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, and, you know, Genesis, all this band. And I've been very fortunate that, you know, to put these radios together and interviewing people and listen to my music and working from home. So I consider myself very, very lucky. So feel free to elaborate on how you guys met Erik Visser. Erik he's the one who put the band together by himself, or he and somebody else?
Yeah, the origin of the band is basically the cooperation between him, Erik, and the flute player, the original flute player of the band, who is Peter Wakers.
Yeah.
Who is also a very, between the two of them, sort of had the characteristic spirit of the band. That's how the whole thing started, with the cooperation of them two.
Yeah.
And then then after that, well, they started a very long time ago. The first record was released in '78, actually.
Yeah.
And the record of Variations on a Lady, which was a huge success immediately from the beginning. So they were quite popular. The band was quite popular, especially at the beginning of the 80s. And then a lot of changes happened. There were different projects, so different musicians came in and came out. And in a way, it was Erik, the founder, who was behind the band for many, many years. So basically, it was kind of, the band was basically a synonym of him. And until very recent, I mean, I was also, I am the only one now that was also working with the old musicians, let's say, with the old Flairck. And I was the only one that remained as a link between that old generation and the new generation that we have now. So once Erik decided to retire, it was actually kind of his initiative and his idea, and he came to me to propose to as a way to keep the project alive, to try to recruit new people and to try to keep the same spirit but with new people and to try to go on. And that is basically what we have been doing this since 2017.
What about Anouk? How long have you been with the band, Anouk?
I'm the last member. So I came in, I think it was end of 2019.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, I didn't play a lot of concerts with Flairck. Just before the Corona, we played some concerts. Yeah. And then we had our CD album, and then we recorded in the first wave of Corona, and then yeah, everything was stopped. So I hope we can replay after summer or in summer, and then make nice concerts together.
Is Erik retire, or he's not touring with anybody? And you guys were able to keep the name, you know, to keep the name, right? So sometimes some bands, they split up and they found the leave, and they legally you cannot use the same name. In your case, you guys were able to continue with that.
Yeah, basically, well, what happened there is that our situation was a little bit different, because in fact, as I said before, the initiative to continue with new people was actually coming from the old members, so really from the founders, you know.
Yeah.
And so they were especially at the beginning very close to us, especially in this case Peter Wakers, the flute player. He was very close to the beginning of this new generation. He was cooperating with us. He was together with me, for example. He was sitting in the auditions when we were looking for the new musicians, and we were sort of thinking together of the first project and how to build it up. So yeah, it was a very close cooperation. And Erik himself was also very supportive, even though he retired from stages. I mean, he's now with his family. He sort of retired to a family sort of life, you know, and which is I think normal at some point. I mean, these are guys that have been on the road for very long time, and well, they, you know, there is a moment when it's just not possible to do it anymore, and they have other priorities, and you know. But in this case, it was not really a problem in that sense, because it was actually kind of their initiative to give us this challenge and the task to sort of continue with the tradition of the band.
That's beautiful, man. I also, like you mentioned, I did have the opportunity. Well, I have several, you know, albums for your band, but the one for 1978, the Variation on a Lady, I think it took them like a couple of years, right? Preparation to put it together, and that was an international success. So yes, in Europe and in Latin America, so you know, Pablo, that you go there often, and that is a beautiful album, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very beautiful music, and it was very original in those days, you know, because there was not a lot of these sort of acoustic bands going on back then, you know. In those days, everything was much more electric, and it was more like this prog rock scene that was going on, and so it was quite original back then. and I think that is part of the success that the band had in those days. And yeah, it's true. For what I heard, it took a long preparation, at least like two or 3 years. They spent in the writing and changing things and polishing things to do that. And normally something that you can do at the beginning, when you are gonna do your first album, you can take a little bit longer until you are kind of ready, and then after that you kind of have to go on the road and you have to keep going. But that is indeed the story as far as I heard it from the original members.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and then another thing that was important, that I think back in the 70s, I think the record label that was biggest in Europe was Polydor Records, and then you guys, the band, the original member, were able to manage to get a deal with them, and that was unheard of in the record and music industry. So that definitely opened a lot of doors. Back in the day, before Anouk was born, we had vinyl record, so like you see in the back. So it was Polydor was a big deal at the time, 50 years ago, 45 years ago. So.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a different period, and I think the opinion is something, this sort of thing. It's something that probably the original members would be able to, of course, tell you much more about, because as you said, we were barely there. I mean, I was just born. Anouk was not there even yet. But what I hear from them, it's they think it was kind of a combination of things that suddenly come together, like somehow the stars align at certain point, and you are doing the right thing in the right moment, and also with a little bit of luck. And that's how the things work out. So that is a little bit of you never know that in advance if that's going to work or not, But I think the merit is more than that is to keep it, because then after that the work of keeping producing things and keeping producing ideas and to try to consolidate a certain style and this and that is the hard work, let's say,
Absolutely.
And that is what the guys, I think, did very well. And that is for us at this moment in the history of the band. For us, it's also very inspirational to sort of try to understand what that spirit is about, and also at the same time like be part of that, but also put our own ideas in it and our own spirit. So it's, as we always say, it's the same but it's different.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know. Absolutely. I have the chance to this weekend, when I was getting ready for this interview, to buy 2 albums, the one called Alive and the one Back Alive. I think I bought it in Bandcamp, and so I want to bring your attention to a couple of songs, like 3 or 4 songs. What can you tell me about the Blacksmith? How the composition came together? That's a beautiful piece, man.
You're talking about the old stuff now, eh?
Yeah.
That's
I'm going to go back and forth. Yeah.
Yes. Well, as the Blacksmith is actually, as far as I know, it's actually a traditional English song.
Yeah.
It's a folk song, and it was arranged kind of in a way to make it fit the band. That actually appears for the first time in an album is a very exceptional album that is called Sleight of Hand. And it's a very strange album in a way, because it's probably the one that is less representative of what the traditional sound of Flairck is. It was in the 80s, in this period where they started even experimenting with like electronic stuff and synthesizers and sequencers and stuff like that. Yeah. It's not my favorite record, actually, for the same reason. But in those days, they were cooperating with English producers, and in that record, it's even as a guest, they had Maggie Riley as a singer, who was in those days very popular with her work with Mike Oldfield and these people, And so I think it was kind of an attempt in those days to kind of look for a different direction for the band. I don't think that was very successful in that area, because then they probably realized that that was not really the way to go, and then eventually they decided to go back to the more characteristic acoustic sound. But it was an interesting experiment anyway. So and that song that you were mentioning, it comes really from that period.
What about, yeah, maybe the other two may come from that particular period, but I know that you guys did the variation on the lady. Have you guys, I know it's an old song, it's an old album from 78, but you guys have done it, right, over a year, different version, and that is a very, very well known.
That is a very good question for Anouk, because she has to play the solo.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So maybe she can say something about that.
Yeah.
So about the variations on the lady, I know it already long time. I know it from my parents, and then suddenly I came in Flairck and I had to study the solo. So really nice. But what was the question about it? I didn't understand. Sorry.
No. To elaborate the song, that a song like that is from 1970 something, right? It takes a while to put it together. To when you guys decide as a band, okay, we want to do a tour in Spain, we want to do 20 songs, right? It's difficult to you guys, want to play the newest stuff, but you go back to your repository of music and decide, well, I want to pick this for that year, that for that year, and then as new members come in, right? Anouk is kind of newer than you, Pablo. It takes a while, you need to rehearse the new song. How the process came together when selected also the song for a new
it takes
gig.
a while, but it was going fast, I think, at that moment, because I noted the music from the CD, and then that makes it a lot of easier. And also the band was playing like all together, but really together, like they played along for a long time together. So I was only the new peon going in. So that's it was going fast. So to adapt.
Right. Yeah. No, I just want to say that it's the interesting thing here is how we are treating kind of the old repertoire in our concerts today. And this particular song that you are mentioning now is actually one of those songs. I suppose every very old band or this sort of cult bands like Flairck is, I suppose, they all have like a repertoire that has been very successful, and it has been kind of an emblematic sort of song. And in this particular case, this is a song that is very, very emblematic for the band, because it's the title track of the very first album and all that. And it's a song that keeps being very fun to play. We always enjoy a lot playing it. So it's one of those songs that at some point you're gonna have to play it in, for the audience, because the audience will be kind of expecting that you do that. So it's of course every old band like this one has these kind of things, and then it's good to sort of alternate things. So we in our repertoire today we have it's more of a mix. It's really kind of half of it is new arrangements from very old pieces, and the rest is material from our new album. So it's like completely new stuff.
Yeah, thank you. As far as the last song that I want to bring to your attention, the other one that I like is the Immigrant. I don't know how old that is, or if you guys keep on playing, but it's a beautiful composition. As I say before, I like so different type of music, right? So when I'm listening to I want to do an interview, I buy some record and I visit my CD collection. I pick different things that bring different emotion to me, right? Whether they're old, whether the people are not in the band, whether they play or not. So that's a beautiful. I don't know if you guys play that anymore or not, but
no, that it's an interesting thing, because Anouk, for example, never played it. But I know the piece well because we used to play it quite a bit in the past. I played it with Flairck when Erik was still back in the days when Erik was in the band.
Yep.
And we played it several times. It's an interesting piece. It's a piece that is based on the melody of the piece. I believe comes from the Jewish tradition. It's like a Jewish melody. Yep. That was arranged for the band, and it's actually also the title track of one of the albums of the past. I have played the piece in the past, but now with the new generation, we have not done that one. Maybe because I used to play it very often with the old guys, and I was a little bit tired of it. When we started the new things, we wanted to do something different, so that we let it at rest. But the good thing about having all these taking care of all these old pieces is that we have a huge amount of songs and a huge repertoire palette, you know, that we can choose from eventually. But of course, as I said, we always combine it because we are also very interested in bringing out our new music and our new stuff.
Right. So like I mentioned before, Pablo. So when you tour a new country, a new city, people want to hear the new stuff, right? You want to put the new album out. You need to play 3 songs for the new album. But people also want to go back to all the hits, you know, whether you were on the band or not. You know, kind of. Yeah. Unfortunately, you need to play some of the stuff, although you have played some songs so many times. Have you played have you toured in the United States at all, as far as you know, Pablo?
No, I think the band has been there, but long time ago. Yeah, in the old days. It was definitely before my time. Yeah. And but since we are working now with the new generation, we have not had the chance to get there. We would love to go, of course. But we have been in other places, like in Europe. We have been in several places. We've been to Mexico as well. We played in Sweden and Portugal, in Germany, in Holland, in Belgium. So we have been moving quite a bit. But then, well, the whole thing with the pandemic kicked in, and that sort of made it, of course, much more difficult. So we are hoping that once everything kind of stabilizes and we are capable of traveling again, of course, we would like to play the music of our new album as much as we can everywhere.
Absolutely, man. What's the process of to putting a new record together? Kind of, you have some ideas, Anouk brings some ideas, and then all of you get together in the same band, and then it's a collaboration between all of them, or?
Yeah, for the moment, it's only Pablo and Joris. Yeah. We write new music or make new compositions of the old stuff, like new arrangements. But now, yeah. So that was for the last album. But now for the next, I'm trying to write also some music, and then keep also the same style, like the real Flairck style in it. Yeah. So yeah, and then if you have an idea, you put it together, and then yeah, on the next rehearsal.
Yeah, because all of you, you know, when you're not playing with Flair, you play with other bands, right? So you bring, you know, like in the case of Joris and Anouk, you play with other band, with other musicians, and you know you can bring a new blood, so to speak, into the new record, new ways of playing, or you know, revisiting some of the old song and old arrangement, and bring, you know, new energy and new enthusiasm into a particular new record. So that's a beautiful thing that, you know.
Yeah, I'm trying to do it. Yeah.
Also, I was looking at the discography, Pablo, and I think I was mentioned a box that has 22 CDs.
Yes.
Is the stuff is a myth, or is there available somewhere?
There are still a few. No, it's real. It's real. This box is a box that actually Erik himself put together a couple of years ago. It's already a few years older, and he took a long time to sort of make a new kind of edition. And what he wanted to do was to kind of put together all the albums and everything that was produced by Flairck until that moment. So it actually includes 22 CDs, which are all those all the studio albums until, I suppose, 2015 or so. And then it also includes Erik's solo album, and an album that he produced himself just for guitar as a soloist, that is also included in this box. And it's basically it was Erik's project, and as far as we know, he still has some of those boxes in his cellar. So people still can get it by you know, navigating in our site in vlerck.com, and there are a few links there to get it. But of course, this box does not include anything of the new material, because that was before. Yeah, that was produced before our time. Yeah. And what we are trying ourselves to promote at the moment is this album that we just brought out last October.
What's the name of the new album, and then how are their sales or the particular? You guys have the new album on CD, vinyl, or just a digital format where people can download the songs and so on?
Yeah, it has it's a CD, it's a physical CD.
Yeah.
Vinyl we still didn't do, but it would be interesting. Maybe in the future we will probably do kind of an exclusive sort of you know, collection thing. But for the moment, yeah, it is available. It was released by a Belgian label called Home Records. It's a very nice label that has very interesting type of music, not like the mainstream and super commercial things, but more projects that are similar to ours. And so yeah, it is available for CD, but it's all, and of course in digital download, and it's all in all the streaming platforms and all that. It's possible to get it there. And the new album is called Back Alive.
In Spotify, I noticed last night that you guys are very popular, you know, but I know that Spotify pay you, I don't know, like a 0.006 cents of a thousand. So having, you know,
it's good that you tell me that we are there, because I have no idea. I have no Spotify account. Maybe Anouk has one.
I have.
No, some of them have been heard by, I don't know, 20,000 people, 30,000 people, some, but you get a little bit of check, you know, a small check, you know, it doesn't mean anything. But yeah. in Bandcamp, you can do much better, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think Bandcamp is better for that.
You know, for musicians, right? So, and so I want to take you back now to 2014. Since I'm from Chile, Pablo, you guys did a tour in 2014 with the World Music Festival. Of course, you were there, and please feel free to elaborate, because Anouk probably wouldn't know, but you know, Flair has been always very popular in Latin America. You know, not just Pablo being from Mexico, but in Brazil and Argentina and Chile, you guys are very well known there. You know.
Yeah, well, in this case, I'm not gonna say this just because you are from there, but the relationship between the band and the Chilean audience has been always very, very special. It is again one of those situations, I think, where a lot of things came together and create a special phenomenon. Because of course the band arrived in Chile for the first time way before my time. And somewhere, I think, at the beginning of the 90s or so. And in that period, I think what happened is that Flairck was one of the first band to arrive in Chile after, you know, many years of the military dictatorship and this and that. So there was a kind of a whole movement going on. Yeah. And in a way, Flairck was kind of, since that moment, linked to this kind of renaissance of the spirit, and you know, it has been kind of a honeymoon between the Chilean audience and Flairck since then. And then I experienced myself, because I was there a couple of times with the band. The first time in 2008, I believe, And then in 2014, as you said, that was also very special because then I was there with 3 of the original members of the band, like the old guys, you know, with Erik Visser, Peter Wickers, Sylvia Hautsager, and myself. And it was, I mean, it's always amazing to go there because the response of the audience to Flairck in Chile, it's not comparable to anywhere else. It's a very privileged sort of a relationship that we have with that country.
And you guys play in different cities, right?
Yes.
Not just in Santiago, but I think you went to.
Yeah, we went to Viña. And,
Viña del Mar, Concepción too.
Viña del Mar and exactly, and in Concepción, as far as I remember, we play in very, very nice. It was very nice because in Santiago we play like the very big stages. You know, we play in 2008. We played the Caupolicán arena, and then in 2014 we also went to a smaller places like the one in Concepción, which is like kind of a nice cozy place where you have the audience very close to you. So that was beautiful.
Yeah. You guys, so after 2014, you guys have no tour there right now?
In Chile, no.
No, in Chile,
no. Unfortunately, we didn't have the chance to go back yet. And it is funny because every time we announce a concert or something, an action in the social media, we always get very enthusiastic reactions from the Chilean audiences. And we were promoting our album, and the first thing that you get always is like, "Hey, and when are you coming to Chile?" And this and that, you know.
Yeah.
But,
and also when you put, that's beautiful. And then when you put, a tour together, you cannot say, well, we want to play, I don't know, Monday in Brazil, Tuesday in Buenos Aires, Wednesday in Santiago, because people in Chile will say, you need to give us 3 nights or 4 nights. Because you will sell out in Viña, in Concepción, in the north. You know that you can do at least a week in concert in Chile back to back. Every week. So you need to extend and prolong your tour.
I think they would get bored with us after a while, but no, we would love to do it, of course. But well, first of all, we have to be able to travel again, and then those kind of things are never easy to organize. I know that the last couple of times that I've been in Chile with the band, it was thanks to the effort of a lot of people that really had to put their time and their heart into bringing us there, because it's never easy to organize these things. So for us, it would be of course a privilege to go back there, but for the moment we didn't find who can be able to organize it, or how can we do it, but maybe in the future things will change, hopefully, and we would love to go, of course.
And then since you speak the language, you can be translated for the whole band, they would that's beautiful.
Yeah, then I can make fun of them and they will not understand.
They will not understand. And it's funny that you mentioned 214, because Erik, was touring with his band he went to Chile, I think, in 1995 and 1996. And then he put a piece together called Los Momentos. Yeah. That's from the band from the blogs. I don't know if you know the story, Pablo, or not. But Anouk, I don't think that. And when he played that song, I think they played 2 nights in 95. The people went crazy, and I talked to the guy who put together the song, who wrote the song, and he was very emotional. People went crazy when they played the song. Actually,
I know the story a little bit, and it's a beautiful song. And I know it was a big thing, but it was just a way to I believe it was Erik's way to sort of give something back to the people of Chile after, because when you are there, I mean, I experienced that myself. You feel so overwhelmed with the warmth and with the friendship of all the people that is the minimum that you can do. The last few times that we were there, we also did something similar with other songs. in 2008, I believe, we did an arrangement of one of Victor Jara's songs.
Victor Jara, yeah.
And then the last time we were there in 2014 with Peter and Sylvia as well, then we did an arrangement. It was a very peculiar arrangement of Gracias a la Vida from Violeta Parra. And it was also very very emotional for all the people, but mainly for us, because it was sort of a way to just thank them for everything that they've done for us.
Yeah, this is the song that I was referring to. Los Momentos was written, and I wanted to express my gratitude to my friend Eduardo Gatti, who is the one who wrote the song, and I interviewed him some months ago, and I wanted to bring it to your attention. And so so for you guys, how does it feel, not just in Latin America, but how does it feel knowing that your music resonates with so many people all over the world? I mean, people cry with that kind of stuff, with that kind of music. Not just in Latin America, but everywhere. It's very, you get emotional attached with that kind of music,
Mm. I don't know, Anouk, maybe you want to say something about that? Or?
No, go.
Yeah. No, well, of course, it's to have to take all this history of the tradition of this band is, I think it has two sides. And one side is like it's a big responsibility, of course, because it's a band that deserves to have a special place for all of us because of all the work that has been done in the past. So that creates like a big responsibility. But on the other hand, we don't want to be completely anchored just to the past, because then you become this kind of tribute kind of band, and we are not really interested in that. Yep. What we really want to do is to take that spirit and make it ours, and then say our own thing with our own voice.
Sure.
That is so it's a little bit of it's a responsibility, but it's also a challenge, and that is what we were basically trying to do, especially with this last with our new album. And we are very, very proud of it, and we think in that area we managed to reach the goal, which was to make an album that is by all rights a Flairck album, but it is also something that brings something new, and that can open perspectives and new perspectives for the future. So that is what we are trying to do. And so we feel a lot of respect for what has been done in the past, but we don't want to be stuck with that. We want to do our new things. And as Anouk mentioned before, now people are getting creatively more involved, and more people are going to be writing new music. So new influences are coming in, and hopefully all that is going to translate in a new identity as well.
Is it possible to put more than one album together, like together more than one a year or so, or it takes a while to
it takes always a while to write new stuff, to rehearse it, to play it together, and then all the process to recording. It takes always a while.
Yeah, it is complicated, and also because financially it's not that obvious to manage to do it. These are difficult times, not only because of the whole pandemic thing now, but even before the whole pandemic, it was the whole music industry is changing a lot. And I think, I personally think it's changing a lot, and not for the best for the musicians, because this whole thing, as we were mentioning before, all these streaming platforms and all these new media seem to be maybe for the user very convenient, because you can access to a lot of music paying almost nothing, which is of course handy, but is not sustainable. So for the musicians of today, it's become very, very difficult to keep producing albums when you know that you are maybe never gonna recover what you invest in it, you know. So you have to be very careful on how you do that. And especially, I think that the big misunderstanding is that, I mean, I am all for these new platforms and so that people have new technology to enjoy the music and all that. But the big mistake for me, it is that we are this sort of formula, or this sort of business structure that comes with all these platforms. It creates the false illusion that you are entitled to have everything for free, and that is your right to stream all the music that you want without having to pay. And this is of course not sustainable, and it's especially not sustainable for bands like ours, that we are more kind of in a cultural sort of artistic sort of way of doing things, not as opposed as the very commercial and only entertainment kind of thing, you know, which is very respectable. But I mean, we are not mainstream. Our music is not commercial. It's not, we have no singers to start with, for example. That already puts you in a different sort of category.
Yeah.
We are an acoustic instrumental band, and we try to do something artistic with the music. So if you take all that together, then what you will get at the end is that it's not, as Anouk said, it's not easy to put an album together. A lot of the things that we had to do for this album that we did now, we had to do ourselves, you know, like with our knowledge and our equipment and our capacities. Because, you know, the old days when you could go to a big label and they can give you the Abbey Road studios for 3 months to do whatever you want there. I mean, those days are gone, even for the most famous people. So it is complicated. So we have to find alternatives for that and do the best we can.
Is crowdfunding is a good alternative? I mean, it helps out where different people over the world can contribute a little bit of money to put it together.
Yeah, that's a way to do it, but I don't like the way to ask money already from the people before having your product.
Yeah.
But that's for the moment one of the only options that we, like young musicians, can do. And I know a lot of bands in Belgium do it, like with crowdfunding. Yeah.
Yeah, we had to do it too. You know, we had to do it too for to try to you know, get some support from somewhere, and luckily the people reacted really well. But as Anouk said, it should be more like the exception than the rule, you know. But it is unfortunately it's becoming the only solution for a lot of artists, and that also sort of cancels the whole situation, because then when so many artists are doing it, then it becomes less interesting for the people as well, you know, and it's less effective as well. So it is something that we had to do, and we are super happy with the reaction of the people, because the people honestly are doing it with the best intention to help you, and it does help. But it's as if you take it into a macroeconomical way of thinking, it's like saying what should work is justice, no charity. And so we should aim for something else. I mean, it's nice that people support you that way, but it should not be the rule. There should be more sustainable, you know, mechanisms so that the musicians can live from their work, and that they can keep producing things without having to, you know, to walk door by door asking for some cents.
Yeah, and like you mentioned before, Pablo, right? So I pay whatever, you know, on Spotify, you know, $10 a month, whatever that amount is, and I can listen to billions of songs, billions of albums for people never even heard, and it's nothing. $10 is nothing to get. You have access to, you know, all the music in the world, and I have no idea how we got there. You know, it make it very, very competitive for me. I don't know if it takes you guys, I don't know, $10,000 or $20,000 to put a new album together. We're doing the cover, we're the rehearsing, the masterization, hiring somebody, going to a place where everybody can cooperate, and then you didn't like one song, you need to redo it again. That is costly. So where the 20,000, whatever, my hypothetical $20,000, where they come from, right? They need to come somewhere. You guys are not rich, so it's not, you cannot fund it yourself, right? And the government wouldn't give you, $20,000 every year to every band in town. Okay, here's a check, here's a check. So it needs to come, unfortunately, somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. And the moment is becoming even more difficult, because before, for a certain period, bands could, even if you would release independently and print some CDs, you at least had the opportunity to go touring and then sell your CDs to the people directly in concerts and stuff like that. But at the moment, you cannot play concerts.
Yeah, sure.
And also the whole platform and the whole industry of the physical supports for the music, like the CDs or it's becoming less and less, because it is what is more comfortable for everybody, of course, is going to the internet and then start streaming and this and that. So that sort of takes the whole thing out of your hands. So I think it's a challenge. I don't know where the whole thing is gonna go, but it is obvious, I think, for a lot of artists that this is not sustainable. And it is not about going against the technology or against the new times, but it's about making it sustainable and make it at least a little bit more fair for the musicians, so that they can at least keep producing,
But if you, what will be fair, right? For Spotify or whatever, all the venues to pay more to you guys per every click, that every time that somebody goes to click for the song, for Bandcamp to pay, take less percentage? How will, because every time when you tour and you do a new concert, at the end, you guys, you sell the CDs, right? There, I don't know how many you sell, and you autograph and you take a picture with the people that bought the CD, but it's not a lot of money. You still need to go and catch a bus or catch a flight for the next city and the next city and the hotel and renting a car and equipment. It's not, you're not doing it for the money, obviously, right? So you're doing it because you like the stuff, but you're never going to become rich and stuff. So what do you think would be a couple of ideas for a new solution, Pablo?
Well, it is a difficult question. I don't have an immediate solution, but I think the first thing is that the rights of the music, for example, should go really to the people that is producing the music, because it's not just a matter of the clicks and so on. It would take me much longer. I don't want to get too deep into this now, but for example, in certain platforms, even if you have people clicking all day long on your songs, the ones that are gonna get the money from all those clickings is not you. The ones that are gonna get that money are the ones that are in top of the pyramid. So people that actually don't really need it, the real commercial artists. And so they have like this sort of pyramid sort of model for that kind of business. For example, in the case of Bandcamp, is a little bit different, as we were saying before, because they take some share because of their platform, but all the rest goes integrally to the artist. So I think that is a much fair option. But there are people that are trying to look for solutions. I think Bandcamp is a good first step in that direction, but there is still a lot of work to be done. And what I would hope for is for a bigger and closer cooperation between these technological companies and the artists, because they are so far apart now that they don't really know, or they don't even care about what your needs are, even though they are making their money with your product. So it is a complicated thing. I think of course the internet and the, you know, the digital era opens a lot of possibilities, but it all comes to what is fair and how to try to diminish at least a little bit the greed of many of these very big companies, and that there can be a closer cooperation between the producers and the people that are distributing.
As far as in terms of economical terms, for you as well, I know you guys, in the meantime, since you cannot tour, right? You do another job on the side in the meantime, or because you can, you know.
Yeah, I teach violin at music school. So I have like a how do you say it?
Half time, kind of.
Half time job. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that the other things. Now it starts with live streaming. So it starts again a bit the business, but it's not like before. So it's quite silent.
Yeah, now you guys cannot tour, right? So you make a little more money when you do 20 cities on your tour, and you get paid for every show, and if there is an advertisement or not. But now you don't have that income, so you need to figure out a new way to, you know, pay the bills and buy coffee or whatever. You need
Yeah,
to
there are a lot of online workshops, online concerts, online things, but yeah, I don't know. It's not my thing.
now that you are at home, perhaps with a little more time on your hands, what kind of music do you listen to? Besides your kind of music, besides your folk, you like other stuff? You like more rock and roll stuff?
A bit of everything. Now I listen a lot of Transylvanian and Roma music, traditional music stuff, and but also classical music now for the moment. I don't know, a little bit of everything.
Yeah. What about you, Paulo? What kind of stuff you listen to besides Latin music?
Yeah. You know, like the taste in music from every musician, I think, is very peculiar. You know, because we tend to listen to, in a way, very specific things, but that can be completely different from each other. You know. So yeah, for me too, I like a lot of prog rock bands, like some of the classics that you were mentioning before. I always learn something from them.
Yeah.
And but I also like classical music. I like early music. I like a lot of you know, vocal polyphonic music from, you know, the 16th, the 15th century. So I also listen to that quite a bit. And it depends, yeah, you know, sometimes a little bit of jazz, also blues I like, and also folk stuff. Yeah, you always discover you know, traditional music from different places that is interesting. So I don't listen a lot to I mean, I don't know anything about the mainstream things or you know, hip hop and that kind of thing. That is not my thing. But for the rest, I listen to a very broad kind of.
Yeah, like you, I listen to a lot of different things, classical music as well. And recently I began contacting different musicians in Norway. It's a lot of very good music with singers. Absolutely. With unbelievable voice. Something like Heike Asakite, Siv Jacobsen. I'm going to be interviewing another lady called Live Miranda and Solder, and they are the voices. I will send you some links, Pablo, as well. And very good music. I'm always, since I'm not a musician, I'm always looking for to expand my horizon, you know.
That's great. That's great. We are happy that there's people like you that, I mean, you don't have to be a musician to enjoy music. And also,
I love music. I love, you know, in this house, I have part of my collection here in the back, and I have 3 different floors, you know, and I have a lot. I'm always, you know, I'm always buying this stuff because I want to, you know, contribute back to the artist, right? And I know that in Bandcamp is a good way to do it, because Bandcamp, I think it only take 10%, so it's not that bad. The other 90% go back to the musician, as opposed to Spotify, right, where I listen to it, I pay $10 a month, and I can listen to a million songs, you know, if I did have the time. And you guys get 1 cent, so it's very, 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 very unfair stuff. And so I have another like 3 or 4 questions. So if you have the opportunity to play with anybody, you know, if you do a concert where Flair would play with whom? Who you like to share a particular stage scenario with, if you have the opportunity? Both for you, Pablo, and for you, Anouk. You know.
You go first, Anouk.
Oh, it's so difficult question.
You can give us some name. Yeah, some people that you admire. You know, it may need to be. You know, it doesn't have to be related to your type of music. You know, kind of folky kind of music. Is anyone in particular that you like to?
I like but yeah, I like to play with like a cymbalum player or something. But I think there is an album with cymbalum and gypsies, so that I really want to do it with Flairck also. But I don't know which person. But if I think to music, which kind of stuff I like to play with Flairck and a Roma band.
What about you, Paula?
Well, it's a difficult question, because there are so many ideas that I get as well, as the same as Anouk. I would enjoy also to play with some kind of old guys, you know, from the. We had a very nice experience a couple of years ago, because we were invited by this famous Swedish band called Isildur's Bane, which is a very well-known prog rock band from Sweden, and they do a very interesting project almost every year. Well, now they couldn't do it, but every year they have like this kind of expo thing that they call, and they bring a lot of musicians from different backgrounds together, and for a week we were sitting there with them, and then you play a concert for the public, you know, putting together new music and music from all the participants and all that, and that was a really, really nice experience. And there I particularly like the interaction that we had. We participated there as Flairck, and we got to interact with Mr. David Cross, which is the violin player of King Crimson from the old days. And David is an amazing artist and an incredible nice person, and I enjoyed that a lot. So that kind of experience I would like to do, you know, with this kind of legendary people like him and other people. But also, as Anouk said, for example, with something that is completely different, you know, like maybe play with a, you know, like an early music choir or you know, or something strange like that. I think that I would enjoy that.
Yeah, I'm glad that you. Yeah.
Also, I like to play one time with the Metropole Orchestra from the Netherlands. It's like you know it maybe. It's a famous orchestra who invites a lot of people. Like
what's the name of that?
Metropole Orchestra.
Yeah, no, I never heard of it. Yeah.
So they invite a lot of people, like Jacob Collier. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a huge orchestra. They play a lot of pop and jazz music.
Gotcha. So, yeah, it's funny that you mentioned David Cross, because I met him, Pablo, as well, and I interviewed him like I don't know, a couple months ago or something.
Yeah, he's a fantastic guy.
Plus, he's a very nice person, you know. So
yeah, absolutely.
So if you feel free to go to the website where you can listen all the interviews, and then when I'm done with this interview, I'm going to be sending you a copy and upload it to the website, so you can post it to your social media account and Facebook or whatever you got. So what are the plans for the near future, and you know, if you can predict, you know, when you will be able to tour, and then which cities you were planning on touring?
Yeah, well, at the moment we have a few concerts that were you know, moved from last year to this year, so we still have to do all of those.
Yeah.
So we have a few of them in Belgium, and some of them in the Netherlands, and we would like to do as many as we can. At the moment, it's still very difficult to plan them, because nobody really knows what is going to happen and when. But in principle, the plans are we would like to still for a while tour with the material of this new album that we have, because basically what happened now is that the album is just basically still fresh from the oven. It was released only in October, and we still didn't have really the chance to play it in concert. So that is a kind of a debt that we still have to pay. So that is the first thing. And in the meantime, we are already sort of discussing possible new projects. We are writing new music, and you know, that sort of work that takes a little bit of time to get in shape. But we definitely have a bunch of ideas and things that we would like to do in the future. Unfortunately, the last year was a very difficult year, so everything it's sort of moved and got postponed. So I guess yeah, we will have to wait, and then when things get sort of back to a more normal state, then we can make more concrete plans.
Yeah, and you know, keep me posted. I'm going to be doing a 3-hour special on your music, visiting different areas, years, and then definitely I will let you know so you can announce your social network.
Absolutely.
Kind of system, and then I wanna help you as much as I can. If I cannot help financially, at least playing your music so people all over the world can listen to your music. Where folks can buy your music? If somebody want to buy a CD or a vinyl beside the regular streaming.
Right. The easiest way is just to visit our website.
Yeah, which is
www.flairck.com. And there you will find both links and buttons to either get the physical CD or to get redirected for the digital download for whoever is interested. And also in the page of the label itself, which is homerecords.be. Yes, for Belgium. It's also possible to get it there, and also visiting our official page on Facebook. You will also always find links there where you can get our music and keep up to date with the concert dates and all that.
That's beautiful, and that was my last question. And I wanted to thank you. That was our interview with Flairck, and thank you very much for your time and your commitment, your beautiful music. If I can help you out in any way, Pablo, my email, my phone number, I want to help out. And if at least the least I can do is playing your music in one of the radios, and then buying your music that I actually do, as well as if in the future you guys doing another crowdfunding project, to release a new album or a new DVD or whatever, keep me posted so I can help a little bit, man. I love your music, and you guys don't retire, man. Keep on playing forever, man.
We'll do our best. Well, Anouk can still go for a long time because she's very young, So she will be in charge of continuing the whole thing when we cannot move anymore.
Yeah, when Pablo retires now, Anouk takes over with Joris, and then the new you need to extend it for another 200 years or so.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully. No, I just want to say thank you very much. We really appreciate people that like you that make an effort to help us promote this our music. Is, as I said, these are very difficult times in many ways. So that for us it is really a pleasure and a tank of oxygen to have these spaces where we can talk about our music and promote it, so we are very thankful for that. And
no problem, guys. Stay safe, man.
Yeah.
Stay healthy. Get the vaccine as fast as you can. And then we need to move on, man. So many people have died, and especially here in the United States, we're living in a crazy time, man.
Yeah. Everywhere is crazy,
Yeah. So we're happy to be alive, and so forth, man. Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate Pablo, and we'll stay in touch, Pablo.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Anouk. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you.